welcome to Best Path Forward. Today we have with us Jordan Tyler. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So Jordan, what's your story?
Yeah, so grew up in Springfield, Ohio.
Okay.
Born in Dayton, moved to Springfield when I was 4. My dad took a job in Columbus, so he did the driving back and forth from Springfield because our families were in Dayton and Columbus, so it was a good halfway point. So grew up in Springfield, raised there, went through grade school, middle school, high school there in Springfield, and then went to Wright State University.
Wright State?
Yeah, actually started at Clark State University, or Clark State Community College.
Okay.
Got my associates there, and then went to Wright State University after that for my bachelor's in marketing. And so spent some time doing banking, marketing, and community development work for a small bank in Springfield. And then during that time I was in college, met my now wife, at that time was my girlfriend. She was in Cincinnati and moved to Columbus, so wanted to move closer to her and go to the bigger city. So took a job in an agency there for about a year and a half. And then ultimately where I'm at now, I'm at an economic development firm called Jobs Ohio, where I do North American business development out of Columbus and travel the country trying to bring jobs and corporations to Ohio. So a short little tidbit about
that is a lot of information.
Yeah,
in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I have one big question at first.
Absolutely.
What is in Springfield, Ohio?
Well, you know, it's funny. John Legend is from
John Legend.
John Legend is from Springfield, Ohio.
All right.
20 minutes outside of Springfield is a small little town called Yellow Springs.
Yellow Springs.
Dave Chappelle.
I was gonna say, doesn't Dave Chappelle live in Yellow Springs?
He lives in Yellow Springs.
That's pretty cool.
Which is cool. Yeah, Springfield's a great place to raise a family. Small little town. A lot of people now know it, fortunately or unfortunately, due to political jargon, basically, so to speak, with the Haitian community. So
I know what you're talking about.
But ultimately, even during that time, still a great place to grow up for me and ultimately my family. So
very cool. So you went to Clark State University,
yeah,
and then you transferred over to Wright State.
Yeah.
So what was it like transferring from a community college to a university?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You know, my path's a little different because I didn't know that I was going to do community college first. I kind of thought I was going to go the university route, but some circumstances happened, and it was the right place for me to be at, really to hunker down and get disciplined about what I wanted to do, and at that time I had no idea. So that transition was a little bit easier because I had taken the time at Clark State to kind of hone my skills and kind of know what I wanted to do, so my purpose was there. And so by the time I got to Wright State, I was kind of ready to rock and roll and kind of heads down, ready to go. So, but the transition it's not easy. I was traveling back and forth and working at the time, so I was going to Wright State, you know, for a full day, then going to the bank because I was a bank teller during the time and during college. So I was doing that, then going home, doing work, and doing it all over again. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was working all throughout college.
That is an incredible drive that you had to be able to balance a job on top of school, on top of the studying. Were you able to have like a social life or anything? Did that adhere to university?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like Wright State is a commuter school. So at that time, about 75 to 80% of all the kids were commuters. So I didn't live on campus. I lived in my parents' house. And again, thankfully, you know, awesome. At that time, I was dating my now wife. So she was down at Xavier University. So a lot of my weekends were spent down there studying. That's really where I had a lot of my college, so to speak, years. We were down in Cincy. But we did, you know, I did some fun stuff up at Wright State with one of my best friends who was the best man at my wedding, Drew Peters, and some other people.
Very cool.
So yeah, a little bit of university fun life, but honestly not a lot. Not a lot. I was really, again, heads down in my studies, was working, and again, was traveling, so I wasn't living on campus. And then with traveling down to Cincinnati, usually every other weekend, there really wasn't a lot of time to do other things. So
nice. So at the time, your girlfriend and now wife, did she charge you rent for staying at her place often?
No, not at all. No. It was nice. And, you know, I kind of came back and forth because I worked on Saturday, Sundays.
Oh my God. So you worked throughout the week?
Yeah, worked throughout the week. So usually it was like 2 or 3 days during the week. And then most weekends, because I would work like 10 to 2, 9 to 2 on Saturdays. Usually not Sundays, but I usually work 10 to 2 on Saturday. So sometimes I would just go down on Friday or we'd meet halfway. Or other times I'd go down after work on Saturdays. But then we both would be studying because she had a pretty rigorous coursework as well. So No paid rent, but definitely paid food. I had,
paid food.
Yeah, I had to take care of the food.
Who would have thought? I mean, you had to pay for something.
Had to pay for something.
Had to pay for something. Now, you said something pretty cool about the transition going to Wright State University. You said it allowed you to kind of buckle down and really hone in on your purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose is one of my favorite words. A lot of people use it. A lot of people misuse it. Yeah. And a lot of people use it not knowing fully what it means. So what does purpose mean to you?
For me, it kind of started back in high school. For me at that time, I struggled my junior and senior year due to a variety of circumstances. And so for me, that purpose was really kind of having the blinders on, so to speak, and really not being distracted. But I think the other thing for me with purpose is like, you got to have a goal to strive towards. And that goal doesn't waver you from other things. And so really, as much as, I maybe didn't have the college years of other people, that purpose and that goal that I had to graduate, to be financially sound, to kind of do the things that I had that I wanted to accomplish, kind of kept me from being distracted on things that I knew if I started going down that road that I had back in high school, I wouldn't be doing what I needed to do. So for me, that purpose is kind of a couple of different things. One, not being distracted, but two, finding goals that you can look towards that are bigger than just where you're at in that moment.
I think that's important. I think a lot of people will set goals, but their environment will not be conducive for those goals.
Yes.
So they'll have the goals, and then their friends like, hey, let's go out. Let's go out and do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I really want to have this goal, but that goal's kind of far off. Yes. I can wait on it, so let me just go out. Yeah. You do that enough times, you're pushing the goal down the post.
Yes. And I think the other thing is, like, it's not that we had a blast. It wasn't like I wasn't enjoying myself or going out and having fun with friends. But it also was, there was something always in the back of my brain of like, I can do this, but there also is other things I have to take care of.
Yeah.
And I think, again, for me at that point in my life, I really needed that. I needed that structure. And also during that time is when I got really serious in the gym as well. And it all kind of came full circle that everything was kind of running on a cylinder. And it kind of was the aha moment for me when I was at Clark State transitioning to Wright State. I really liked everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the path I was on. And so it clicked in my brain of those types of things. So
I want to cheers you real quick because you just mentioned one of my other favorite things, the gym. And that's how you and I met.
Yes, we did.
So I'm glad we got a chance to meet each other at the gym.
I agree. Cheers.
Cheers. So Jordan, you say that you work for Jobs Ohio, correct?
Yes.
What's the favorite part of your job?
Meeting new people. I'm a big relationship guy. That's kind of my bread and butter, networking, relationships, meeting new people, talking to them, kind of understanding who they are.
Yeah.
And so for me, the privilege I get to do is talk to corporations and companies every single day who are doing really cool things across a variety of spectrum, everything from auto companies to life science and healthcare companies to, aerospace and defense companies, even down to small businesses and startups. And I get to really understand what they're trying to do and how Ohio and Jobs Ohio can come in and help with that growth. Ultimately hoping they come to Ohio, but for me, at the first level, it's just getting to know them, and that's something I really love doing. So
I think building relationships is huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people go in there with like a sales pitch or something.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this person doesn't know who I am. They don't understand my business. They don't understand our own purpose and everything.
Right.
And it sounds like you take the time to get to know anyone, even if they don't come to Ohio, just who they are.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing for me is like, that's kind of how my career started was every job I've gotten, even out of college, started with a relationship. So the typical, putting my resume out, things like that, I've been very blessed. I haven't had to do that because of my network. And I'm a true believer that it's not really, you need to know some things, but it's really who you know.
Yes.
And leveraging those relationships to continue to push your career. So for me, I'm trying to do that day in and day out, meeting people like you and other people because I'm intrigued by that. So yeah, honestly, for me, it's the best of both worlds with what I get to do at JO. I get to really promote a great product as in Ohio, where I live, and I've loved growing up here, but also I get to do something that I love doing, which is networking and relationship building. So.
All right. So the last question before we kind of dive into today's topics.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida originally.
Okay.
And I came up to Ohio probably over a decade ago. I didn't know a lot about Ohio, had a lot of preconceived notions about it. People said, oh, you're just going to go see corn stalks.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I got off the plane and I came here for grad school, they yelled OH at me. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yes.
And they're like, you're supposed to say IO. I was like, oh, this is a spelling test now.
Yes.
But after a few months and a few years here, it really is a community. It sounds like we both made Ohio our home.
Yes.
Nice. So what's your favorite thing about Ohio?
Ooh.
You can't say your wife. I know that's the
That would be number one.
Yeah. So let's go with number two.
I think for me, and it sounds cliche, but the opportunity, right? Like I think for so many people across the country, they see Ohio as what they have called the flyover state or the Rust Belt state, or there's nothing that you can do there. But I'm an example of someone who has been able to leverage everything that Ohio's been able to offer, not only community college, but a state university,
yes,
to multiple different jobs in different industries. And I think that's something to be really proud of, but also it is a body of work that can be shown across multiple different people across Ohio, not just in Columbus, but in Cincinnati, Cleveland, Toledo, Dayton, wherever you're at. There is opportunity for you here, and that's one of my favorite things about Ohio is you can really do whatever you want in any capacity that you want to do.
I like that. I think that's fantastic. So I'm glad we both like Ohio, and I'm glad we had a good chance to meet.
Yeah.
Nice. So in preparation for today's podcast, you picked a certain date.
I did.
What date did you pick?
May 20th, 2024.
All right. So what's special about May 20th, 2024?
It is my anniversary.
Anniversary?
Wedding anniversary, yes.
Wedding anniversary.
Yes.
So 1 year, just about 1 year.
No, we are working on, so actually in this coming May will be 3.
3 years?
Yes.
All right. So what would you do for the first anniversary?
We went to another wedding.
Oh, no.
Yes. So one of my best friends from high school, it just so worked out that they got married. Their date was the same as ours. So I actually was in the wedding. So that our wedding night was, our first year anniversary was us at a wedding, which, I think was serendipitous just a little.
Yeah.
And we got to experience what we were experiencing with people that we really love and care about at another wedding.
Funny.
So it was interesting. And then last year, we did a small little trip to Louisville. At that time, we had just come out of, I had just had major ACL surgery. My wife had just had major surgery on her wisdom teeth. We had just had a lot of different things. So we did something small and intimate, which worked out perfectly. But yeah, so.
Nice. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you read the bike brain entry from 5/20/2024 as I take a second to kind of explain what bike brains are. Does that work for you?
Yeah, it works.
All right, here you go. So bike brains are generally mental tools that I use to kind of help process the world around me. Every day, I try to attempt to kind of journal my thoughts down in writing form. The bike brains usually fall into one of 3 categories. That's mind, which focuses on the mental energy allocation, split into different rooms. For example, the work room, the gym room. Where are you spending that mental energy and how are you allocating it throughout the day? The next is body, being a hybrid holistic machine. It's more than just about what you work out. It's more than about just what you eat. It's about how you sleep, how you manage stress, and your environment around you. And the last one is spirit. And spirit is about diving in to figure out your code of conduct and reaching out to others, knowing that you can't do this alone. And then there's one special category, which falls into today's topic. It is known as inosala. That's where the mind, body, and spirit are all taken into consideration to try to hit a balanced state, working together all as one to grow as much as possible. So Jordan, I'll read this and you can discuss it.
Yeah.
So this bike brain entry on 5/20/2024, the title is flat. This is it. I knew the power of a single wish, after all, invisible and inevitable, like a butterfly that beats its wings in one corner of the globe, and with that single action, changes the weather halfway across the world. The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman. It takes time to see what form today's actions will take. While you might not ever see your impact on those around you, know that you have one. If you want to be the butterfly whose flap leads to waves of impact, you have to do just that, flap. There are no ways by just sitting idly by. Take action by taking ideas formed in your mental rooms to the real world, training your body to make sure you don't tire after one mighty flap, and refining your spirit so that you aim your actions in areas you value the most. Jordan, that one hits pretty hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
That hits hard for me because a lot of people want to make an impact to the world, but they're unwilling to do any actions for it.
Mm-hmm.
They let their environment influence them. They let their mind go into every other mental room possible. For instance, they'll just sit there and watch TV all day long instead of taking 5 minutes to do one goal that they want. Or sometimes they're doing things that's not really in line with their spirit. I know a lot of people, we probably see a lot of times ourselves, a lot of people in corporate America, they're trying to climb the top of this corporate ladder. And they reach the top of it and they realize, this is not what I want.
Exactly.
And then there's the other situation about the whole concept of flap, the butterfly effect. It's like we work, and we never see the impact of our actions. And so I think for me, the reason I wrote that bike brain is because we are very social creatures. You and I especially, we talk a lot in the gym. People will probably try to kick us out for it. I'm all right with that. But we don't know the impact that we're having on people.
Mhm.
So we just have to trust that although we might not see their actions later on that day, that one small little interaction we have with them could have a mighty effect down the road. And so that's why I think the concept of flat is good. We might not know what right step to take or if the step we're taking is right, but the only thing we have to do is take that step, adjust, and if it's the wrong step, backtrack and try again.
Yeah.
If it's the right step, find out why it was right, and then keep doing the same thing going forward. What do you think of that?
Well, first and foremost, I agree fully. The first thing that kind of flooded my brain was, which is crazy enough, is failure, right? And the butterfly effect and kind of walking in your purpose, you have to fail to learn.
Yes.
And I think the greatest minds of this world, the greatest people that you would put in your corner as the most successful, learned how to fail very quickly and a lot.
Yes.
And I think they learned what they really liked to do, what they didn't like to do, and how to walk in what we've talked about earlier today, that purpose. And when you walk in your purpose, not someone else's, not your parents, not your friends, not your girlfriend, not your wife, your purpose, you get hit all those three that you just talked about in your bike brain. You hit your purpose spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and when all those are harmony working together, that's when you're in your purpose. So I think for me, that's kind of what speaks to me. I think it's also really interesting about the impact piece,
Yes.
right? Because I resonate that with that completely, right? Like I do what I need to do, but am I making sure that the people behind me are benefiting from all my hard work? Because it's really not just about me, right? Like not just about my job or being in the gym or working and doing other things in the community, which I love doing all those things. But what does it mean?
Yes.
And so sometimes the mind kind of works on that on like, are you doing enough? Are you being enough? And really my reassurance to myself is like, if I'm at my highest level and I'm doing what I need to do and I'm walking in my purpose, then the people behind me will be able to benefit from that in whatever capacity it is, because there's always someone watching.
Yes.
We don't know who it is.
That part.
And sometimes it's not good for us to know. But it's important for you to understand the responsibility that you have on this world when you're walking in your purpose.
I agree with you completely. And I think the thing about walking your purpose is so crucial and key. I think a lot of times when it comes down to spirit, you have a code of conduct that you have to live by. And I think character is just like the arm muscles or the chest or legs.
Yes.
You have to work on it every day. And so the character that you're working on the character somehow, one way or the
Oh,
other.
absolutely.
Either it's a character that's kind of like a little lethargic when it comes to hitting their goals, or
Yes.
someone that's more ambitious. Whatever actions you're taking is having an impact on your future self. And so if other people are thinking when they see you, like, oh, this person is kind of driven. That means I kind of want to do more like what they're doing. It's called code sharing. And
Yes.
so I see you working your butt off. I'm like, you know what? I want to step it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
If that impact lasts for all of 10 minutes or even to the time I leave the gym, I'm still better off than I was by not seeing you perform. And it doesn't matter if we've had a conversation or not, or if we ever talk to each other, or if you even know my name. Just by existing and kind of walking in your purpose, I think has that impact.
I would agree. I mean, I think another word I'll bring into this conversation is excellence. Excellence is contagious, right? You don't need to talk to someone, but again, the gym analogy, there's been many a times where I'm in the gym, headphones in working, but you see someone else going a little bit harder than you are. And that's contagious to me because I want to feed off of that. And so the excellence piece of that is if you want to be excellent, you need to be around other people who are showing signs and walking in their purpose in that, what I would call excellence point of view.
I agree. And I think the gym is such a fascinating place to see
It
that.
is.
Because I know you and I have both had knee surgeries in the
Yes.
recent past.
Yes.
And I remember after you had your knee surgery, you came back, you're on crutches, and it felt like the whole gym gave you a standing ovation.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? He's not back at 100% yet, but he's in here working when he can work.
Yes.
And even I had surgery, and people were yelling at me, oh, you shouldn't be in here. But they kept an eye on me.
Yeah.
They helped me out when I needed. They made sure I wasn't doing crazy things. And if I tried to lift something, they're like, Dan, you dumbass, put it down. I got your back.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing, and you know this, there was a piece of time, right, when I got back from that surgery, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, it was a brutal time for me, and I was never ready for that. Like, I was like, had the ACL, I was devastated that it was fully torn. I mean, I'd never had major surgery like that, even through my formative years of playing basketball, baseball, being very active. So at 27 years old, to have this type of serious injury was pretty daunting, but I was like, we'll get through it. I'll take time off. It won't be that serious. I had no idea the mental load that comes with that, just not being able to really do anything. And I had to work through that. And I think even today, there's still little pieces of tendency of like when I am working out or doing other things that comes back to that. But it was a big eye opener for me. and something I had to work through. But I think you could probably resonate with that as well, just with major injuries later in life.
Yeah. So what tools did you use to kind of get through that? I guess the mental hurricane of going through something like, hey, I have
Yeah,
this new injury that I've never had before.
yeah,
It's impacting everything that I relied on
yeah.
to kind of help me stay balanced. So what tool and what process did you put in place to kind of overcome that?
Yeah, so two things. One, routine. I think for me, when I first started, first couple nights, routine was kind of thrown out the window. We were trying to get pain meds, do stuff like that. But I think routine is very important to getting back to some form of normal. But I know I was supposed to bring a productive piece to this.
Oh no, I wasn't even to that point yet. This is still
Uh,
about me right now. I mean, if you want
he said, no, no, that's fine.
this is still about me. If
I
you want to
think
talk about yourself, we can, but
no, I think for me, routine was really important, and I think at that time my wife was really great at helping me with that and being like, no, like we're gonna continue to have the meals like you did before this. You're gonna continue to get up at the right time when you did this. You're gonna continue to do everything that we could do, and then I started implementing like the extra work that you had to do like during PT. I started making that another piece of like a challenge for me to help kind of build back that honestly confidence. I
yes.
mean, when you have a blown knee, and that for me, I had my quad was taken out for this, not the hamstring, but the quad. I
Hang on.
had,
That's a lot.
yeah, so it wasn't a hamstring or a patella. They actually did a quad, which is a little bit different than most people have.
Oh my gosh, that sounds unpleasant.
I had no use of the quad muscle at all, no, nor still with the ACL injury. So not only was I nursing with the ACL injury, but I couldn't lift the leg up at all. So I actually like to get in and out of bed. I was lifting my own, or my wife had to. So that was another piece. Is like I could not really do anything on my own for the first week. And it got better really quickly, but what I needed to do was implement a routine because I thrive off of that.
Yes.
Our household thrives off of routine. And when that's thrown out the window, um, the mentalness just, it's hard. So that was the biggest difference maker for me. And then when I was able to get cleared to come back to the gym, just having to, it wasn't a lot that I was working on, but just being, hey, I'm going to get up, I'm still going to go. That was a big win for me.
Yes.
And I think the small wins mount up to big wins.
Yes.
And big wins mount up to completed goals.
Yes.
And I think that's the difference.
I like that a lot. Hang on, say that again. Small wins. You gotta repeat that one for me.
You like that one?
I did. I hope you remember it. I was drinking confidence to get it back.
Yeah, it really was. I think small wins equal big wins. Big wins turn into completed goals.
And big wins turn into completed goals.
Yep. Or something of that nature. You can run this back and then you can.
Oh no, this is one and done. Whatever you just said is going to be it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And I think it's important what you said there. A lot of people allow setbacks to just disrupt their whole routine.
Yeah.
And it's like Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yes.
Like you're building habits, you're stacking them.
Yes.
If you let one thing brought that whole structure, it's like you're starting off with base zero.
Right.
You can still get up at the same time.
Yes.
You can still eat the same things.
Yes.
You can still kind of have the same routine. It might look a little bit different,
Yeah.
but that's coded inside of you.
Yeah.
So it's impressive that you, along with pressure from your wife, continue to do that.
Yeah. And again, it wasn't perfect every day.
Yeah.
But what I had to come to a place was like, this is going to be fine. I am going to heal. It's not that big of a deal. But in the same respect, I had to get back to what I've been doing every single day, and that was really the difference maker for me in the growth of my recovery back. So it was good. Good to have that point in time. I think at that time, it was really good for me just as I was and have been building my career. That what I thought was a stumbling block was really an important piece of my internal growth.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, right? So, and I think sometimes we get really good at stacking the habits. We get really good at I work out at 5 a.m. every morning. I have a great job. Everything's going well, and then there's that speed bump, right?
That one speed bump.
And you go, oh, there's still a lot for me to learn. There's
Yes.
still a lot for me to grow on. And so I really take, and I kind of laugh at it now, but like I really take this injury as something that was like, okay, you thought you had it figured out. You thought you just got married. You thought you had this great job. Things are going well as you predicted it because you've been meeting all your goals. Let me give you something to really work on. So,
you know how I see that? Let me give you something to work on now, just in case in the future someone else needs you to have this experience.
Yep.
Someone like, Dan Best.
Dan Best, yes. Yeah.
I need you to have that experience.
Because you had a couple years, a year after me.
Yeah.
And we had 2 other ones in the gym. There's
so many people.
Yeah, and it's becoming more prevalent. But I think that's also important, right?
Yes.
It's like making sure that we're sharing those experiences with friends and colleagues and family and working through those together.
Yeah, I agree, Jordan. So now that we're done talking about our injuries, shared injuries back and forth,
So fun.
I believe you had homework for this podcast.
I had homework.
Yes. So the whole point of this podcast is for me to talk to some of my best friends about tools and resources that they use and adopt it to find the best path forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us, what did you bring us today?
Well, it's funny. Our conversation has kind of already led in that way. But my productive tool is very simple, actually. I think it comes at kind of a base layer for building any really good habits. It's actually an alarm clock.
Alarm clock?
Yeah. Or, your alarm. Anyone's alarm. If that's on your phone, if that's an alarm clock standalone. We have a Hatch at home that I love. But my most productive tool, and I think the most telling tool of any person, is your alarm clock. Are you getting up every day? Because I think it's great to stack habits. I'm one like that. I love protocols. I'm really into and trying to continue to be into the cold plunging and sauna and my workouts. And right now hybrid training is really big. So doing that, those are all really important things. My supplements, all those things, they're all great. But at the end of the day, the big test of time is, are you waking up and actually doing the work?
So the big test of time is finding a way to watch time with the alarm clock.
Yeah.
That was kind of deep.
That was deep. That was good there. But it seems so simple, but I know I'm at my best when I am waking up. And I have to be accountable for that. No one is coming to help you wake up. You either wake up or you don't. And that doesn't mean you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym. It's whatever your routine and timeline is. But I think it's really telling of the discipline and the motivation that you have. Because there's really no motivation of, if your alarm clock goes out at 5 a.m., it's not really motivation to get you out of bed. It's the discipline of, my alarm's going off, I went to bed at 10 or 11, doesn't matter. This is when I get up. And this is really food for me, because sometimes I don't do it, right? That's just true honesty. But when the alarm clock hits, there's nothing else that's going to change if you're going to do it or not. It's a yes or no. You get up, you put your feet on the ground, and you go win the day. And I think that's the other big thing talking about wins is, the first win you can have in the day to make the day great is, did you get up? And that can be a win for you.
What if you're dead?
Well, that's a good point.
Did you get up? The answer is no.
No, but I think. Oh, there I look.
I was so good. I saw you make a mess.
I already did it once.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. But I think it's something I think about all the time. Is like, my alarm went off. Like, if the first win I can have, if we're really talking about, stacking wins, is I'm getting out of bed, I'm doing what I need to do. So that's mine.
I think that's fantastic. You keep saying that it's very limited, or you said it was simple.
Yeah.
I don't think it's simple. When you said alarm clock, two different thoughts went through my head immediately.
Okay.
The first was a traditional alarm clock. Your alarm goes off, 4:03 or whatever.
Right.
Wakes up. It's all right. You get up and go. And then I started thinking about, I'm like, oh, if I want to watch TV, or if I want to play a video game, or if I just want to have a de-stress moment, I'll set a timer, a version of alarm clock.
Interesting.
So I'm like, all right, you have 20 minutes to do this.
Yeah.
And after that 20 minutes is up, you gotta get up and go.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect of an alarm clock.
Yeah. I think there's both sides of that, right? It's again, building in the routine, building in your purpose. And I think the other great thing about the alarm clock, or the timing mechanism, is it allows for you to still do the things you love to do, but still walking in that purpose and meeting your goals. So I think it can be both sides of that.
I think it's all about balance.
Yes.
No one wants someone that's perfect, because one, they're not going to be perfect forever.
Yeah.
Or two, they're lying about being perfect. Or three, they're super boring.
Well, and I'll take it a step further. When I think of balance, I always think of, everyone always says work-life balance, right? And I actually disagree with that. I actually think it's actually work-life integration. I think balance is something that people have come up with to try and be well, we can do both. You can't, right? For me, there are times that my work does, bleed into my family time, or my personal time, or my time to hang out with friends. That's normal, just because of the demands of corporate America right now. But then there's other times, right, on a nice sunny Friday, or maybe a Monday morning, well, maybe I take it slower. I go get a coffee, or I leave at 3 o'clock because things are done and I'm ready to go. But maybe the 2 nights before that, I was with clients or doing whatever for 12 or 13 hours, right? So I think for me and how I've structured my life, I've stopped thinking about work-life balance and trying to do both, or all my different things I'm responsible for in my life, as a, one for one, everything be equal. But really just making sure that they're integrated together, and I'm spending time in all those areas. And that's going back to the alarm clock, right? It's making time for each one of those in the capacity that they need time. And sometimes my personal life needs more time than my work life. Sometimes my family time needs more time than my gym time. Sometimes my gym time needs all my my time on a Saturday to kind of get back to level. So I think for me, that's kind of how I look at it nowadays.
So I gotta ask you. So I have a concept of mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
I call it balance, so don't yell at me. I don't call it mind, body, spirit integration.
No, I think no. I think it's the same thing.
Is that okay?
Well, I think I'll be honest. I think it's kind of the harmony of the three,
Harmony,
right? I think it's funny. Like you can have the best body in the world, but if
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You could, if you're not mentally strong, right, and you're not working on your spiritual, your spiritual fitness. Let's just call it that. You're not balanced, right?
I agree.
You need to have all three. And when you're doing, again, we said this before, if you're doing all three of those, you're walking in your purpose. So no, I think if you're calling those balance, I think that's great.
Nice. And so kind of like speaking about the mind aspect of that,
Yeah.
I'm a huge component of having things in, I guess, these rooms, right?
Yeah.
So you have like a work room.
Yeah.
And then you have a workout room.
Yeah.
And then you probably have like a life room and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so when you have the concept of work-life integration, do you go into each of those rooms at the same time? Are you really good about entering one when it's that time, coming out, shutting the door, and then
I'll be the first one to say I'm still learning how to work through all three of those. I think one of those reasons why, and that's flat out honest, and I think you get this in your job too, as you continue to take on more responsibility in your career, it takes a lot more forethought to make sure that you're being in the moment in those other rooms, right?
Yes.
I think you can resonate with this too, because I really respect what you do in your career and you've been very successful in that. It's really hard to pull away from that when you're working really hard. And I take a lot of pride and I take a lot of blessing in the work that I do. But at times I need to put that away. So I'm still working on making sure. And I think that's something, my wife has been really great at helping of like, hey, you need to put that down.
Yeah.
Like we need to be in the moment, and I'm doing that more and more, and I'm working on that. I think I'm better at it when I go to the gym because I know that's my time. That's my me time. That's for me to kind of get ready for the day. But I'm still working through those integrations, and I'm trying to find ways to do that better. It's maybe, hey, I don't need to look at my email on a Sunday night. I can just spend time with my wife or my family or friends, or okay, maybe I can. I don't on Monday morning. Let's just have coffee and not talk about work. Right, like I'm so quick to go grab a coffee with a coworker or with a friend or a buddy, and we talk about work all day long.
Whew.
We don't need to do that.
No.
So I haven't mastered it, right? But I'm still working on it, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think any of us will ever master anything.
No.
It's about raising awareness of what's going on and putting in the steps and processes and surrounding yourself with the people that can help you get there.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're doing those things.
Well, I like the timer thing, and I think it's something maybe I could implement a little bit more. It's like maybe, okay, like this is the last bit. After that, it's on and over with.
You have to be consistent with it.
It's a very true point.
Disciplined with it.
Yeah.
The temptation is real. When it hits you, it's like, go a little bit more.
And I think that's the other thing of the discipline. So many people think, oh, if I get motivated, I will become disciplined. And I don't. For so long, I thought that, right? Like, I love the motivational quotes. I love the motivational videos. Like, they're great, right? Like, you have behind you one of the greatest in David Goggins.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not really a motivator. He just tells you like it is. And he tells you that there's no motivation that can ever get you to discipline. Discipline is a yes or no. You're either doing it or you don't. There's nothing else that's going to be there to help you. So I think that's another piece of it too.
I think so too. I think motivation is kind of like lighter fluid.
Yes.
Quick flash.
Yeah.
It's gone so fast.
Right, but you have to tend the fire.
You have to tend the fire.
Right, and you have to go find more wood for it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent. I believe in, it's not just you that gets you there. I believe in support. I know that even in my life, I've had tons of mentors. My dad, my mom, everyone around me has gotten me to this point. But I think when you talk about purpose, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to help you. It is your responsibility to figure that out. You can have people guiding you, right? But there's no motivation or video or word that you can read. It is you versus you figuring it out. And that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is a tough pill to swallow.
But when you do and you figure that out, you're better for it.
That made me think of another aspect of alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what starts this whole journey of personal development?
Mm-hmm.
It's like something went off. Some alarm went off.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's not a health-related alarm or a
Hmm.
life crisis-related
Right.
alarm stemming from like, my doctor said I'm overweight or obese.
Right.
Or man, I got fired from my job. Now I don't know what to do.
Yes.
Or you know what? I'm having a mental breakdown. Those aren't good things.
No.
Hopefully, it's nothing that drastic. But a lot of us have these moments of alarm clock in our life, and then we just hit the snooze button rather than getting up and taking action with it.
Yes. And sitting on the sideline, no, like no one can help you.
No.
You thinking about it? Are you texting about it? Or are you posting on social media about, yeah, I'm going to do this, but not doing the work? It's never going to change. But I do think, and again, I think it's interesting. Everyone has an inflection point in their life of you have a chance to make a change.
Yes.
And most of us get multiple chances, right? Most of us are blessed enough to have multiple inflection points in our life. Um, but I also believe that if you don't heed those inflection points and walk through those doors, you might not get another chance. I think everyone has an innate ability and an innate opportunity to be successful and have a lot of traits. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. It's what you do with those. Are you watering them? Are you building them? And if you're not hitting those inflection points and making the right decisions, you're never going to see your full potential.
I agree. It's the chaos theory. No matter how small your actions are, the
Yes.
chaos theory of the butterfly flapping its wings. If a butterfly was standing right there and just flapped its wings, you'd be like, oh, cool. But the whole theory is because it did that one action, there's a hurricane happening across the world. The same theory action, although your small step might
Yeah.
seem like something very small and minuscule,
Yeah.
chances are, if you look at it around the world as far as the future time, it's making huge impacts.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. So, Jordan, if someone is having problems starting the conflict of an alarm clock, what are some tips you would recommend for them?
It's interesting. I'll probably play hardball here
Okay.
on this one. I think if it's the struggle of getting up, you have to come to a place of making that change in your heart, mind, and soul, right? Like someone can tap you on your shoulder and be your alarm clock. Your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever that is in your life can be in the same room, knock on your door, and say it's time to get up, right? And they can do that for a time, but at some point in time, they're not going to be there. And you have to take personal responsibility for yourself. And I think that's the greatest, first step is looking yourself in the mirror and saying, it's time for me to make that first step. And so what if I put my feet on the floor? What happens? I think sometimes we're so quick to say, well, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or I can't do this because I have this situation, or I can't do this because I don't have the money, or I can't do this or I can't lift because I have never lifted before. I don't know what workouts.
People will laugh at me.
Yes,
People
but
be mean.
I once heard, and it's really great, but what if it turned out really good? What if you did go to the gym and start lifting? I was one of those people. What if you did go after that job and it worked out well? What if you did, whatever that what if is, what if it turned out great? You're not going to know that unless you get up when the alarm clock goes on. And I think that's the cold hard truth. Like, I think there's really no other recipe for it. And again, I say all this not because I've mastered it. I say it because it's an everyday decision for me. Sometimes I'm really great at it. Sometimes I'm not. But when I'm really great at it and when I'm running all cylinders, that's when I'm at my best. When I'm not, and I'm not getting up when I need to, and I'm not having the discipline and the routine and making the time and integrating all the different things I'm responsible for, chaos ensues. But what to start with, and I know it sounds crazy, but what's the first thing you do when you are you waking up and are you getting after business? That's really where it stems from. And it sounds so crazy, but when you really think about it, you either start your day with a win or you start it with a loss. And that starts with, are you getting up all the time?
So you're perfectly, I'm very good at this. Because I summarized what you just said into 3 things, action items for people.
And you're like ChatGPT at this point.
I mean, I might be a robot. I've been called a robot before, but I just had 2 surgeries, so I am a shit robot. I'm an actual robot. So alarm clock.
Yeah.
Number 1, come to a place and make the change. It has to be you.
Yep.
Number 2, shift from the mindset of what if I can't do something to what if I can do something.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is think of starting the day off strong. I think those are all successful tips for the alarm clock.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, Jordan, in closing, what else you got for us? Any final thoughts?
It's funny. I have a really great quote. I love quotes.
I like quotes
I'll
too.
end you with one. And I'll summarize it because it's kind of long, but it actually came from Denzel Washington. And it says this. It says, keep learning, keep growing, keep moving. See you at work.
I like that a lot.
So,
dude, that's a fantastic one from Denzel.
Yeah, so it's one of my favorites. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming along.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
All right, sir. We'll toast out.
Absolutely.
Salud. Until next time.
Until next time.
You're coming back, right?
Let's do a part 2.
All right, let's do it. Thank you for watching and listening to today's episode. Chances are you're looking to embark on your own personal development journey. I'm not going to lie to you. True personal development is hard, and it's supposed to be hard. That's because you're not only changing who you are, but how you operate. The aim of this podcast is to give you a community of people that are striving to do the same. So like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, comment below on how you plan on using today's tool to find your own best path forward. We'll see you next time.